All right, in this video, we got a lot of parts to put back on this car because right now it is not looking like a car anymore. The engine is tore down almost to the bare long block. So yeah, we gotta start putting some stuff back together. And the first thing I'm gonna do is replace these leaky cam seals. So that way I could put the backing plate on after and then start putting everything else on from there. All right, so the new seals are all in. Got the cam caps back on, torqued them down to what I felt was good. And I got the cam gears on. They still need to be torqued down, but I'll do that later. Got the backing plate on and it is looking pretty cool. I'm excited to see once everything's all together, but this is the beginning of it all coming together, so that's exciting. Also got the O2 sensor in. They bent the other one to get it out of the way of this brake line when I just bent the brake line a little bit out of the way, and now nothing's bent over there really, so I just got to make this plug work with the wiring harness plug, which I might de-pin it and then pin it in there or something, but that'll be easy. I also put new caps over here for the heater core hoses because they're not in use. I do want to put a heater core in this car, but that's down the road. Got to figure that out. But the old caps were right here actually. They were all cracked, which, ooh, you can see it was really cracked. But I don't have any faith in these caps. Normally when you cap stuff like that, it does not last. You know what I should have done is just loop the hoses, but we'll try the caps out, see how it does. All right, so I've done these two lines already, but I'm gonna show you guys how I do these AN lines. We'll do the last one right here. Black is looking much better. They did not put these on all the way. That is crazy. So yeah, this one's not on all the way, and this one is not on all the way. That is funny. First things first, let's see if this is long enough. Oh, it is. It's our lucky day. Now you want to blow this out a lot because it's going to have oil going through it. But you just spray some silicone spray and you can push the fitting on. Bless you. More silicone spray. And then I start these by hand. Like that. And then use, this is an AN fitting wrench so it doesn't mar them. When it starts getting tight, I take it off and I just look, make sure this is still straight, it's not going at a weird angle or anything. And this one looks good, so I put it back in. If it is at a weird angle or something, then I would back it all the way out and like push it in there a little more and then try it again. Make sure you have a good bit of silicone in there so it slides. And there we go. Ooh. Now I got a good right angle fitting on it. Let's go back and measure. It's looking like something like that. I'd rather have a little too much and a little too little because then it won't reach. But if I cut it right about there, that should give me enough. Maybe a little back more. So this is a little more straight. I got some riv nuts in to mount the oil cooler. One right there and one right there. I'm painting it so it's outside right now. But that will be the end of the oil cooler setup, hopefully. You can see the black lines. They just blend in a lot more, so I'm excited about that. All right, so oil cooler system is done. As you can see, I painted it black. I didn't sand it or anything just because it's hidden, it's out of sight, out of mind. But here's all the lines. They're looking much better. Now, when I start the car, I just need to make sure that they are not leaking. And I'm going to get it up to temp so the oil circulates and everything. And then I'm gonna drain the oil and change it and change the filter just because the debris that's still left in these lines from cutting them and stuff. Alright guys, so I just redid the fuel system. I didn't film any of it because nothing was interesting, but I'll give you an overview. So here's the feed and return line. Before they used worm gears, and I use these clamps that you're supposed to use for high PSI. And the reason I originally looked at the fuel system was because these were the old rubber lines. So I was like, yeah, might as well do new ones while I'm in there. And then underneath, this was the old fuel feed, which it doesn't have any sort of barbed end or anything on it, so it's not really proper. So I threw that away. So under here you can see the fuel lines. Return, I just left not barbed or whatever because it's just a return slow pressure. But the feed, I have it running from there into this Wix fuel filter, clamped, and I have an Evil Energy bracket just holding it in there. And then it goes to this, which is a barbed hose, and it's actually off a Ford Fiesta ST, and that goes all the way to the front, and I'll show you the front. So then up front, it actually goes into this, which is crimped on there from factory from Ford. And I just cut the end of the hose off of here. I'm going to clamp it, and then this is the fitting for the fuel rail, so it's going to go like that. So it's kind of like a factory-ish look. So this is at least a proper feed line, where the other one you can't just clamp onto a non-beaded section, and it will just leak eventually. And then the return is right here. I just need to cut it when I got the fuel rail back in and everything, and see how much length I need. But that's a completed fuel system. I'm taking a break from that, and I'm putting this throttle body together. So it came out pretty good. I always prefer OEM look, but this is better than that black since I have to paint it. So this is the whole reason why I tore everything down. And it's a KSD Engineering idle air control valve block-off plate, so that the car will not rev to 3,000 RPMs for no reason anymore. So yeah, it's easy to install, and I got new hardware and some new bolts. Here's the size, M5-80. I think that's a .80 maybe. And I got them 16 millimeters long. That looks nice and pretty. You won't even notice it on the car. I probably just put a cap on this just to make it look better, but I don't even think I need to do that. Yeah, I don't. Next up is this stuff. I think it goes like that, if I recall correctly. Yeah. Now the thing with this is you gotta you have this little part from the coil spring, and this needs to come back, and this needs to come back, and it goes behind this screw that's in there. So I use like pliers or something to get it back there. All right, and then once it's back there, you can see right there, springs back. Works as a throttle body should. Now the last thing is the TPS. I'm gonna clean it first, try to get all that red off. So I cleaned it up a little bit, got it on there now. Here's the new hardware I got for them. M4x70 on 12 millimeter. Just these little ones. I'm gonna put a little washer on them too. And yeah, these will hold down TPS. All right, that was pretty simple. Throttle body's complete. So that's ready to go on. Just have to cap these off. And there we go. Ready to go on. No more high idle. Looks a lot better. Cool. So I just switched the lug nuts out to these Dorman ones. They're pretty cool. They're way better than this. These things are scary. All right, so I went to do the water pump, and now I gotta order more gaskets. So I did not realize that this housing pulls off of the block, and there's an O-ring that goes here. I already cleaned the surface, and then the water pump gasket, which I already had. But when you pull this off, it also has a gasket right here, and I cleaned the surface on that, and a gasket right here, and the thermostat housing gasket, but I needed to do that anyways because this car didn't have a thermostat. So that was 1, 2, 3 more gaskets then that I did not know about, and I have to order those now. But once those get in here, then I'll put the water pump back on. I'm reusing that one. I just got a new gasket because the old one was all RTV'd on. And I'm glad I did it because this O-ring that goes right here, they just put RTV on it, and that probably would have leaked, and like that housing was RTV'd on. And I'm not against using RTV up on like thermostat housings and stuff like that, but I don't like it when it's done over an old O-ring, and they're just using like black RTV, which is for like oil and stuff. They're not using the RTV that's for the cooling system, so that could make it fail sooner, and it all probably would have started leaking. So it's just going to go back together with gaskets and hopefully not leak, and hopefully be good for a while. All right, you can see inside there, got the thermostat installed, got a proper gasket. Once the other gaskets for this thing come in, I can reinstall this and reinstall the water pump. All right, so it's getting close to powder coating time. I got the oven going so I can throw it in at 400 degrees for like 30 minutes and just do a gas out phase. Make sure, I guess all the oils are brought to the top and I can wipe them off. But I just wiped them off with some degreaser, and I'm doing the intake tube as well. And this is my test piece. It's a 4G63 valve cover off of like an Eclipse. So I've never powder coated before, so I'm gonna do this one first. It is cracked right here and it goes through where the oil is, so it's no good. You can epoxy it right there, but it still has the baffles in. This is just gonna be like a wall art, but it'll be a good piece for me to test on. I'm gonna try to do this one, and then I saw online where you wipe the lettering clean so you don't have to go back and sand powder forever later. So I'm gonna try to do that on this one, and then probably do the intake tube just because this one's very ugly and I'll probably end up changing it. And then I'll do the valve covers because obviously I want these to come out the best. All right, so here's the test piece, and this came out 10 times better than I thought it was going to. I thought I really oversprayed, but I kind of just left it because I was like, okay, let me see what it looks like if I do overspray on the actual pieces. But it came out great. A few fingerprint spots where I wasn't too careful when wiping this off, but that's on me. This is just a test piece, so didn't need to be perfect. Yeah, it's just gonna be wall art. Now this came out a little lighter. You can see it's like a little brownish, but I actually kind of like that. When I was going to pick up some parts in the car, I was thinking, I was like, man, I should have just Cerakoted this the same color as the Manifold, but I'm actually kind of liking this. I just dropped it too, and the coating held up, so that's good. Time to do the real deal. Oh man, guys, these are so good, they're smoking. But in all reality, I'm pretty sure these came out way better than the test piece. Test piece missed a bunch down there and right here. So good thing I did test because I knew to get extra good around there on these. And I think they came out really good. All right, so the timing belt is on. The only issue I ran into was the new belt kit did not come with a spring, and I guess my old spring's worn out because from it right here to here, it's just like flimsy and falls right off. So I took the spring off completely. As long as this is torqued down, it's not gonna move. And I think I have good tension sets on the belt. So yeah, now it's time to reassemble.
The trees around me spring to life like I never could. Cause you put me in a timeline where I am understood. I walk 7 miles on these broken wood planks just for me to go secure and get my livelihood down. And when we die, pray to God we meet again. Since you're the only one that guide me through my pain on earth. I can reassure you, but what is my word worth? If I'm constantly on bottles when I claim I'm sober. But if I take one, I need another. I really hold it well. Is a gift or a curse? I pray I drop a platinum before I'm dropped in a hearse. But I swear I need my juices before I can get to work. This dependency's the only thing that depend on me. You're my angel, but I can't but entertain the devil. On my soda, in my mind, and in my alcohol. I may move, I may breathe, but I'm dead overall. It's too real for me, I need to get a grip. She been worried for me, but baby, I've come to accept this, and you should too.
Man, so I got everything in except for an upper radiator hose because the one I got does not fit. And I test fitted the intake without the radiator in, but now when I put the radiator in, look at that. That is precision right there. They knew what they were doing. Got a K&N filter on it. Man, everything is coming together. This is actually looking really good. I'm really excited. Alright, I think with some trimming, we have an upper radiator hose. Just gotta cut it right there, slip it on, and it should work. Here's the part number, in case any of you have a swap similar to this. I never hooked up the throttle. So we got a little oil pool going on. The fitting just has to be tightened on there, and I'm gonna have to remove the coil and then tighten it, and then it should be good. I couldn't fit the wrench in there too well. I thought I got it tight enough, but I guess not, so coil will come out. So it turns out the fitting is leaking from like this little hole area right here. So I ordered a new fitting. It'll be here tomorrow, so I gotta wait until then. But we lost a little bit of oil. All right, so the car's been leaking out of the tail shaft of the transmission, and I got the drive shaft out now, and this was all rusted. It looks like they probably left it out in the weather and then just threw it back in there. So that seal was not sealing too well. I cleaned it up and it's all smooth now. It's very smooth. That's just staining right there, but it is all very smooth. So hopefully it doesn't leak anymore. If it does, I have to pull the tail shaft of the transmission out to replace that seal, is what I've looked up. So I'm just gonna see if this fixes it first. So obviously today I'm working on the exhaust, and this is the current exhaust. It might be titanium. I don't know why it would be, but it actually might be. Hopefully not, because I want to weld it to this. I don't even know what this is, but I got a cat going in that's off of like a 1999 CRV. Got this from my friend, so I'm gonna cut the pipes probably about right here where it's like sort of straightish in this one. And I guess if I can't weld them together, I'm gonna clamp them together or something. I'll figure something out if I can't weld them together. But this thing really needs a cat. It is basically a straight pipe and it's way too loud. All right, let's see how it sounds. That is definitely a whole lot better, especially when I was revving it. Has a more deeper tone. It is not just screaming, so I'm extremely happy with that. All right, so the last thing I need to do in this car, as you can see, is put a proper battery tray in it. So I'm doing that now. Got some self-tapping screws, of course, the ones that actually came out of the original tray, and I'm gonna zip them in, and then the car will have a battery. All right. Battery tray is installed, battery's hooked up. That is the end of this project. I hope you all enjoyed this project. I really enjoyed working on it. I'm probably gonna end up selling it because I got something else again right here. That's gonna be probably the next video. Just start diving into that. But I did really like this car. You know how it goes. Too many projects, not enough space, and need money to fund other projects. So unfortunately, it has to go.